Welcome back, everybody. It's Drippy Cakes here, and this is going to be a Tier 3 rankings for June 2019. Two Tier 3 have came out since I did my last video, so I figured it was time to update it since we're sitting at 15. The way I'm going to do this is I'm not going just based off of power or how they look and everything like that. This is just how they fare across the board. This is basically to help people that don't have the luxury of having all Tier 3s to figure out which characters might be for them. So basically, I'm going to say, hey, this is how they perform in PvP. This is how they perform in PvE. Should you get them? Or the priority of them. And again, this is all opinionated, and I like to think that I have enough experience, to give you a proper opinion on it. So coming in at number 15 is Ant-Man. As far as PvP goes, he's really only good in Alliance Conquest. And as far as PvE goes, I don't even use him anymore because his damage ratios are so low. And he's actually fallen down the board, even with the endgame uni. He's fun to use, so if you're looking for a fun speed character and zip around, if you're just a fan, then, sure, why not, get him, Coming up next is Iron Man. PvP and PvE, he's about the same. It's pretty stagnant. Even though he got his endgame uniform and he did get an increase to pretty much every aspect that he plays, he's still kind of a lackluster character, which is a little bit of a disappointment. But I loved Iron Man, so I'm like, I'm gonna put resources into him. I love Iron Man. Why the hell not? So coming up after that, number 13 is Black Panther. Black Panther is a fairly balanced character, but the thing that you have to remember is, yes, he can clear both of those content, PvE, PvE. There's Captain America for the same exact price, but much better performance. So at this point, it just comes down to your fandom, to be honest. But he's still decent. Spider-Man, I gotta say, sucks and not sucks. He's not that great in PvE. He's decent in Shadowland, but PvP is his go-to. But the problem right now is he's got so much webbing on his skills that's where that's his niche. That's where he's supposed to shine, but everybody's running debuffs and stuff like that. So really, the thing that makes him stand out is being blocked. Coming up next is Wolverine. Now, when you think about Wolverine, yeah, he'll be able to do some decent PvP, but there are so many meta that can crush him right now. You got to think you got to go through this whole epic quest, and then you can start working on him, and then you tier 3 him, and it's a lot of work for, if you're newer, then I'd say, nah, don't even worry about him. You'll get to him eventually. And Magneto, you pretty much have to pay for him. He can PvP pretty well. He'll sit in the back in Alliance Conquest and snipe people. And in PvE, he's actually pretty strong. But I can't justify buying him for the sheer fact tier 3ing him. And then you have to rank this uniform for him to be a decent tier 3. Y'all gonna hate me for this one, but Captain America, Sharon Rogers, whatever you want to call her, look, she's got insane damage at tier 3. But outside of that, you're going to use her for one world boss run, and then, whatever. She's a great starter character. If you're starting to this game, do it. But there's no need to, if you're already got your feet wet with tier 3s and stuff like that. You can wait on her. He's a good character, both PvP and PvE. I'm actually starting to see his power shine a little bit more in PvP since I converted him. If he comes out with that 5th skill in Conquest, he's killing a whole team. Thor is a great character, and he's a pretty decent price as well. Now, Mr. Fantastic, this is kind of the same case as with Wolverine. The fact that you have to go through an epic quest in order to get him to 60, and then you can start working on the tier 3. He is I'd say a high-end player, tier 3. So if you don't have the resource and you already don't have a lot of tier 3s, I would wait on him, but he is still good. Now, Luna Snow, she's another paywall that is tier 3, but she is so worth it. She can't PvP for shit. I think I fought one Luna Snow that was just a problem in PvP. But I know if you convert her to PvP, the PvE aspect is going to go down severely. But that's okay. It all depends on what you want. Coming up next is Deadpool. I'm so glad to see him fall down. Call me a hater. I'm glad he's not sitting too high to the top anymore and that people came and take over. He's still a decent character. His uniform looks like crap, but he'll still get everything done. But I have noticed that he has been nerfed, a little bit since he came out. Coming up next is Captain America. Captain America made it up this high for multiple reasons. One, his endgame uni is out. It's freaking awesome. It's really, really great. His cost is low, and he can do literally any content that you build him for, PvE, PvE, hybrid. He is a cost-efficient character, and I always recommend him to be your first tier 3 if you are newer towards the game. Captain Marvel, honestly, she is kind of in that same boat, but she's stronger than Captain America. Not tankier, but if you're looking for some high DPS for a character, I would say Captain Marvel. Why not? Especially if you're going to get a uniform. She is fun to use, very, very strong. But I did put her a little bit lower than she used to be because Jean Grey. Now, I had to overlook the fact that you have to go through, a bunch of crap to unlock Jean Grey, including ranking characters to specific points. And, then the potential was rough. So far, I gotta say the entire journey for Jean Grey would be worth it. And that's just because this tier 3 update is exactly what she needed. She felt dated, but now she doesn't. She's got extremely high burst. She's got 2 lives just in case you make oopsies. She's a great tier 3. Like, even if you went for her first before anybody, fine. I wouldn't even judge you on that. Now, Thanos is an absolute living nightmare in PvP. And I know that's not enough reason to put him at number 1, but here's the thing. Even if you take this man into PvE, he's pretty much like a game shark for this game at this point. Until they nerf him, he's going to be a problem in PvP. And even in PvE, like, take him in a giant raid boss or whatever, and he's going to kill it really fast too. Very, very strong character. Just requires a lot of work. And, this is just my opinions on all these characters. None of this is set in stone. I don't work for Netmarble. I'm not telling you, like, that's how we designed them. If you don't agree with where these characters are on this list, that's perfectly fine. But do me a favor and don't be in my comment section talking about oh no, well, Sharon Rogers should have been number 1 because I killed Galactus with my first skill move. I'm just trying to inform people what my opinion is. And as a person who owns every single character ranked up all the way, I think that I've somewhat earned the right to, give a little bit of insight on these characters. Anyway, please do drop some comments, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think, but don't be a dick.